one of the elite big men in the class of 2026, number 28 overall, according to 27 Sports, is Ethan Taylor, the forward who will be, sorry, not the forward, the center who will be playing at Sunrise Christian and play for Mocan Elite. Had a really good summer, was very, very impressed with Ethan Taylor and his game. And, his recruitment has taken a little bit of a shift here. Now, Michigan State was a school that was in on him early, as well as Kansas and Indiana. And there was a turn like at the end of the summer where it was like, all right, Bill Self's gonna wrap this up. Like he's gonna I know that people point and do the fryer, but people were like Jayhawk, basically. Oregon was in it as well, I believe, and there were some other schools he was taking visits to. But it seems to be that there is a turn in this three-team race in recent weeks. So he has a visit to Kansas this weekend, then he will take a visit to Michigan State on the following weekend, which will be Midnight Madness for Michigan State, I believe, and he'll also be visiting with his high school teammate this year, which is Michigan State commit Carlos Medlock Jr. So they'll be taking that visit together. Michigan State is also in for Tristan Reed, who will also be playing at Sunrise Christian this year. But Riley, I guess I want to throw it to you here because Branham reported that this is shaping up to be an Indiana versus Michigan State battle, where it was said to be kind of wrapped up to almost be Kansas here, but I guess where do you see this as? Is this more like Indiana and Michigan State are making a push, or is this just a classic case of like once he gets to Kansas and takes that visit to Kansas, he'll leave a Kansas commit?
Mm, Great question. Honestly, Cart, I was hoping I could tee you up to point to that Michigan State banner behind you and give us and do your patented mine
Yeah, the thing is, I can't throw mine out there unless I feel really good about it. Now,
until you
Josiah
truly believe it.
Jervis, mine. Okay. Mine, mine, mine. Ethan Taylor would like him to be mine, would absolutely adore him to be mine, but I don't know if he's mine.
I would love him to be yours as well. So right now, I'm totally just deflecting from your question of is this just Indiana or Michigan State getting into the mix? I'm flipping it back on you and saying, in terms of like your fandom, your perspective, is this like Kansas is our only threat here? Or are you taking DeVries seriously? Because on my end, I'm like, all right, if Kansas is fading, Izzo needs to just take whatever money he needs for this one and locker DeVries. You cannot let the new kid on the block with the personality of that houseplant behind you like go in and take who would be the most talented big man you've had since Xavier Tillman was running the court, like
Right. Xavier
since
Tillman
Xavier
is
Tillman
currently.
was kissing the Spartan helmet. Like, get this done, Izzo. But, if it is Bill Self as much as a threat as you originally perceived, then that's a little more understandable. But where's your head at with
Right,
this?
Xavier Tillman was in year like 9 in the NBA currently. That's how long it has been. Yeah, dog, it's been so long since we got a center like Ethan Taylor, and I just think like the fit is there, the minutes are there, everything is there for him. And to your point, like, look, I gotta stay consistent because I have been coming on the channel and being like, I think Darian DeVries is gonna get one. Like, I think
Mm-hmm.
he's going to get one of these big recruits. I think he's gonna like find a way to do it. Now, things have changed in that regard since I made that statement and stayed kind of like I saying he's gonna do this. There's been reports that Bloomington doesn't have the Bucks that people think they have. And also like to keep it a bucksky here, like I don't mean to get into this bag, but I gotta do it. This is Michigan State versus Indiana we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
So like, come on now. Like let's I get it, Hoosiers, elite movie. Respect Indiana for the candy stripes and everything they are, and they have had good big men too. Like, don't get me wrong, like Khalil Ware
Mm-hmm.
was a lottery pick. I understand that. Trace Jackson Davis, one of the best bigs ever played in the Big Ten. But at the same time, this is a team that's fighting for their tournament life on a year-to-year basis now, right? And
Mm-hmm.
maybe that flips with DeVries, and I got to see it first. But and I think it will happen for what it's worth. Like I buy stock in that team a little bit, but if I'm more afraid of Kansas, if Brandon is telling me that this is Indiana versus Michigan State, I'm a week away from coming on here and just saying mine 90 times. Like, what are
Mm-hmm.
we doing here, man? This is Tom Izzo versus Darian DeVries.
Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm, that's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girls' sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that, but honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy. Love his wife. Love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you to where Kansas would still scare me. I have a debut bit today. Excuse me, a bit to debut.
Please.
We got a little clipboard action with Riz.
Whoa. What we got here?
I think I'm drawing up the action right here. I saw one of Ethan Taylor's highlights. I believe it's like a pin post action where he sets a pin down on the guy who's guarding the three man. He sprints out to like the top of the key, gets the ball, and then he seals off the defender and gets the ball, dribble, drop step, finish or whatever. It's an action that Self ran a ton for Hunter Dickinson and has ran throughout his career for whichever big he has. And that's the one thing that I saw in the highlights where it's like, yeah, I see a Kansas fit really nicely here. That being said, I would love to see Izzo get to run some pin post action with a legit scoring threat in the paint and get back to his roots. So I'm with you, Cart. I see how Self here is like sort of looming as he hasn't called it quits yet. You know, he still is employed as the head coach of the Kansas Jayhawks with a bag and with pedigree and with minutes to offer. But again, if Branham's saying here it's a toss up between Indiana and Michigan State, yeah, then we're starting to get the champagne glasses ready in East Lansing.
Yeah, and I think too, like there is a world and a pitch too um for Michigan State. I'm sorry, I just got rattled because I was reading the last part of the Branham article, and there's a video playing on the right side of the screen about a player whose name is Sir Paul Cheeks. There's no way that's real. I definitely got to look that's crazy. That just threw me all the way off. But what I'm saying too is with Ethan Taylor and with this, like, what the pitch would be for Michigan State. I also think there's a world where like you pitch it as like, the class, you know what I'm saying? Like I look back to the 2016 class, it was Cassius, Redacted, Josh Langford, Nick Ward. Like that class was incredible and it had five-star talent mixed into it. Carlos Medlock is a kid who's very talented, not necessarily a five-star kid, but a kid that I think could have an incredible Michigan State career and play a lot of basketball. Ethan Taylor, five-star kid. Josiah Jervis, five-star by most services. Like you put together that class, you know what I'm saying? And don't let Agent Medlock get in here, lock up the deal. I'm afraid of Kansas. Don't get me wrong. There's a world where he comes out of this Kansas visit this weekend and he leaves a Jayhawk, and I'll be livid. But not as livid as losing him to Indiana. I will say that. And I think Michigan State has a good pitch for him. Michigan State's been wanting to throw the ball in the post for such a long time, but it's tough to do it when Sizemon Zapala and Carson Cooper are down there. But Riley, I guess I'll give you a chance to call your shot, and if you're going to say the right thing. But where do you think he ends up?
You know what, man? I'm gonna say he's a Spartan dog. We need the vibes. I need it for the sake of for your mental sake, just to know that you have a big. He's listed at 7 foot 240 as a rising senior in high school. You're telling me you're not enticed by what Izzo could do with that? I love the prospects there. Flory might be gone after this year, which Self could say like, "Yo, I got minutes to burn here." Which, yeah, it is scary, but you know what? We need the vibes that are high. I'm gonna call my shot and say he's a Spartan.
Yeah, I would love that. Also, I'd be unbearable. Unbearable to the masses. They would have to see me, Doctor, Doctor. You would hear from me, Quentin. You would also hear from me as well. But it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm not going to get comfortable. Any visit to Kansas and Bill Self is one that you need to pay attention to. But when we have updates, we will have them here on the channel.